Hi, good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me. I want to say thank you to Sinclair for inviting me here. Appreciate everybody coming in this morning. It's always tough in the morning to get up and obviously listen to lectures. And so my name is Josh Vang. I'm from Minnesota, so dentist, practice in St. Paul, Minnesota here. And my presentation today is the one and only EnerJet, transferring aesthetics with the EnerJet. And I'll kind of get into that as I go through my presentation here. Again, just want to say thank you to Sinclair for hosting this and being so gracious with all the support and everything that they've given myself and all the other folks who have been with the company. So thank you very much to Sinclair. Just a little bit about me. I've been practicing dentistry for roughly about 18 years. I've been doing aesthetics since 2019, so roughly about 5 years. I did my training with Botox and fillers back in 19. Got my fellowship in injectables in 21, and then mastership in injectables in 23 with the IAFA, which is the International Academy for Facial Aesthetics. So it's a great group to join if you're looking to learn about the aesthetics and cosmetic world. They've got a nice plethora of options for you to learn about and kind of get started, whether you start slow or fast. So great way to start there. Just wanted to start my presentation off with needles, because that's really what the EnerJet's about. Just a little history. I don't know if you guys know, Francis Ryan from Ireland invented the needle back in 1844, almost 200 years ago, 180 years ago. Then Alexander Wood of Scotland invented the modern hypodermic needle, where he connected the syringe to the actual needle base. And so kind of tells you how long we've been using needles for and how much it's kind of stayed with the world today. In present day, just a couple of things that we use in medicine and dental, we're always using it for vaccine delivery. We're using it for IV therapy, insulin injections, steroid injections. In the dental realm, we're always using it now, which is getting into a big topic, is drawing and creating PRF treatments, whether it's bone grafting or as the Dr. Tricia talked about earlier, hair rejuvenation. Anesthetic dentistry, we're always administering anesthetic every single day. And then therapeutic Botox now, we're finding that Botox does a lot for us, whether it's headaches, muscle tensions. They're using it for over 600 to 700 treatments for Botox to really treat people that need it. Coming around full circle, this is where we kind of get into why everybody's here and where, as dentists or whether medical or esthetician or anyone in the cosmetic realm is getting into, is injectables in the cosmetic world. Restylane created the first dermal fillers back in 2023. It's over 20 years that it's been approved. Botox Cosmetic by Allergan back in 2002. That's over 20 years as well. And now we're doing biofillers, PRF, drawing, spinning, and heating it up and turning it into our own natural fillers, where folks who don't feel like they want to get hyaluronic acid, they've got the opportunity now to do something natural, which Dr. John, I think, is going to touch base on, which I'm very excited to hear that. And now the biggest thing is Ozempic. It used to be a tablet. Now they're doing injections, and they're technically making it into, even though it's a medical situation, they're using a lot for cosmetics and weight loss. So, which is going to be tenfold once you guys wrap everything up with Sinclair and a lot of the energy-based devices. You're going to find people who have laxity, people who need treatments for their the areas where they need skin tightening. A lot of those things will tie into a lot of the medical procedures and medical prescriptions that are going out today. Goes to my kids. They always ask me if there's ever going to be a world without needles. I don't think there ever will be. There's always going to be a place for needles. It still is the gold standard for delivery in a lot of the things we do, whether it's medication or delivery of PRF or whatnot. But they've been using it in medicine and dental for centuries, and now they're obviously using it in cosmetics. And I don't think there's ever going to be a place without needles, but we're getting there. We're getting to that paradigm shift where you're going to start to see treatments that will allow us to evolve, allow us to change the landscape of how we deliver things, and that's what the EnerJet is about. So you think about evolution, you think about all the things that have changed in the world today, from the phone, the light bulb, us as humans, right? I mean, we've changed so much, and you get to a point where our technology just gets better and better and better, right? So this is the one and only EnerJet. Brought it to our office this past year, and it's been one of the coolest things to have at my office. It's a needleless injection, and it basically allows you to deliver solution or PRF, whatever it may be that can be delivered in a solution in a needleless base treatment. So how does it work? It's basically a highly pressurized system that basically, when it goes through the skin, creates a 3D radius delivery of nanoparticles where it disperses underneath the skin. And you can go, I believe, as deep as 6 millimeters, depending on how much pressure you want to put in there. It is the only technology in the world right now that combines the physical and biochemical properties of the actions of what you're delivering and how you're doing it. It's pretty darn cool. How it works, I got a little bit of a little video here. Basically, when it's going through, you're creating a 200 micron entry point, really small visible point. Looks like a little mosquito bite when it goes through. Then once that compound or the medication or whatever you're delivering into the skin, it disperses laterally, basically everywhere in a 3D direction. And then you're getting that nanoparticle burst of nanoparticles throughout the area that you're treating, which is such a huge thing for folks who are doing hair rejuvenation, hair restoration, because you're not having to do it with a needle now. So it's really quite comfortable. You do feel a little bit of a snap, but it's not nearly as painful as getting a needle put in your scalp. So this is kind of a little cartoon of kind of how it works here, where you can see the jet going in there, and then basically the particles or solution that you're delivering is just dispersed laterally throughout the entire skin underneath the skin tissue there. These are a couple things that I wanted to just really highlight what the EnerJet can do. And remember, this is a needleless-based treatment unit treatment where you're not taking a needle and you're injecting. You're just taking a little tip from the actual handpiece itself, and you're putting it into a syringe, and it's injecting it needlessly into the skin. And we'll show you some demos here on some of my slides here. But one of the first things that we've been doing, and we've had the opportunity to do more here, and we're slowly starting to get a chance to do more, is the Connect facelifting. Basically, you're taking a hyaluronic acid and you're diluting it with saline, and what you're doing is you're putting it into areas of the face that have laxity. So wherever you have pull on your face and you have a little bit of laxity, and we're putting in those areas, and it's creating a skin tightening effect and a pull that gives you almost a facelift look, and it gives you a natural feel. I'll show you one of our cases that we did, and it literally, before and after, was pretty amazing. And you can do it for skin tightening, wrinkle reduction. This is my favorite one, is the scar tissue remodeling that this machine can do. It can do acne scars, it can do keloid scars, C-section scars. You're looking at stretch marks. My favorite one that I'm waiting to get into, and I talked to Dr. Mark about this, is hypertrophic scars for cleft palate. You think of folks who have gone through surgery and you get that thick scar tissue on their lip. This machine can deliver it to the client or the patient needlessly, and it can basically break down that keloid scar or that hypertrophic scar that's forming, and literally flatten that skin tissue and that scar tissue and start to hopefully break it down and break all those fibrous tissues that are holding it and anchoring it down. The next thing that we can do with this beautiful machine is dermal thickening. If you're looking to enhance your facial aesthetics, upper lip, décolleté. I know back in Dallas we did the Beauty Boss, and Kara had gotten that done, and she was letting anybody who wanted to check it out come on up to the stage to look at it, and it looked awesome. It turned out beautiful. And the next big thing that we've been kind of going around the world is the tech neck and necklines. And so looking down at your phone, everybody is looking at their iPad, looking at their phone. You're getting these lines on your neck, these horizontal lines. Obviously, you can do a lot of other things in the world to kind of help those lines, but what's really cool with this machine is you can actually treat those lines non-surgically and create dermal thickening to really help those lines soften up, if not disappear. It's pretty cool. One of the things that we just literally talked about was PRF, platelet-rich fibrin. So if there's some of you folks who don't know what platelet-rich fibrin is, it's basically you're taking blood and drawing it from the client or the patient, and you're spinning it at a certain RPM on a centrifuge. most of the times. Right now, I think things are going horizontal, so you can really get a really good spin on. And you're taking that, so platelet-rich fibrin is the top layer where the cells start to divide, and you're getting this top layer of rich cells. And that's what, when we say PRF, or platelet-rich fibrin, that's that top layer of supercells that we're using to rejuvenate or use for health rejuvenation, wound healing, to really speed that process up. So when we talk about platelet-rich fibrin, what's really cool with this machine is because it is a liquid, you can actually put it in this EnerJet machine and deliver it needlessly, which is probably the coolest thing that I've had at my office. Right now we're doing some trial runs with some hair and scalp rejuvenation. We're doing some dry scalp and dandruff treatments for clients right now too. So here's just a couple things here. Here was one of our clients who was so gracious enough to do our kinetic facelift and be a model. So this was, we use 2 syringes. We use I did 2 because Voluma you can use more for jaw lines, it's got a higher G prime. So if any of you guys know what dermal fillers are, hyaluronic acid, there's a rating on how stiff dermal filler can be or hyaluronic acid can be. So if you have higher G prime, meaning the higher the number, the stiffer the material is going to be. So Juvederm Ultra XC and Voluma, they have a higher G prime, so the staying power stays there a little bit longer than if you had something like a lower G prime where they use it for lips and you don't get those lumping. You get a nice smooth and silky texture. But for this client, 53-year-old client, we did a kinetic facelift where we did injections, annulus injections into the side of the head, side of the scalp, and then around the jawline area that pulled the skin. Now what you're gonna look for, if you look at around her eyes, and I don't know how clear you guys can see it, but she has a lot of crepiness, a lot of wrinkling around the eyes. After we did this treatment, you could actually see some of the pull on the side of her face, and you can actually see that crepiness under her eyes, the bags under her eyes, and the crepiness there gets softer. And this was immediately after treatment. So we just did the second treatment a couple weeks ago, so we're going to follow up with her and see how she's doing, get some extra post-op photos. But this was, the treatment itself, 30 minutes. You load the syringe, you mix it up, and you load it up, and you just go right at it. And it was a very comfortable treatment for her. This next treatment here was keloid scars. This was one of the reasons why I got this machine, because in a lot of the ethnic backgrounds too, we get a lot of keloid scars, especially Asian descent, get a lot of keloid scars. I've done laser treatment, I've done steroid treatment injection, and they were painful. And so this is one of the reasons why I got it, and I'm gonna show you a little video of it. Treatment time, 10 minutes. It was fast. So it was in and out, and chair time was so minimal. So here's the treatment going. And you'll see these papules. These are the little mosquito bites that you guys see. They literally digress pretty quick. But this is us mixing it with a Kenalog steroid. I did a 1.5 to 3 ml solution dilution there, ratio-wise, and this is us kind of going around the keloid scar to really knock out the borders. And then our esthetician, Tina, actually took over from there and actually did this core part of the keloid scar. Here's after we did the full treatment, and you can see the outline where I started the outline of that keloid scar. That's already cleared up. And then this is literally immediately after how it looks like, and you can see those little dots, those little openings, those 200 micron openings, and that's literally all it is. It's a needleless injection, goes right in there, and post-op is pretty easy. Our final one here is our PRF hair rejuvenation. We've got a client here, and you can kind of see how we did the rows. And so this is what we would, someone who's doing hair restoration or hair rejuvenation, where they would be doing injections with the needle. Whereas this treatment took 15 minutes. Draw time where we drew blood, spun it. That was about a 10-minute run, because once you spin it, you have a good 15 minutes or so to use the PRF before it starts to coagulate or go bad. So once you draw the blood and you spin it, you go ahead and quickly load it into the syringe, and then you go ahead and deliver the treatment and the PRF into the scalp. So you're gonna see how quick it was, how fast it'll burn through it, but treatment time literally about 10 to 15 minutes, very fast.
Dr. Vang, we have a question, sorry here.
Sure.
Are you using bacteriostatic normal saline or just plain normal saline?
I use the bacteriostatic saline.
Thank you.
Yeah, it helps out with the bacteriostatic saline when you mix it with PRF. If you're delivering it to somebody, it does help take the sting away. Yeah, because it helps a lot, especially if you're doing like a cannula for someone, if you're gonna do like the face or an injection. I know when we did one for our training where we mixed PRP at that time with, with also sodium bicarbonate too. You can mix it with that too to help take some of the sting away. But yeah, so you can kind of see that was a treatment. Here's it completely finished after we did it. So we did a nice little grid of PRF delivery into the scalp. So, but other than that, this is my quote for the EnerJet, and I hope they use it. It's not only going to transform the way we treat aesthetics in the world, but it's going to revolutionize how we deliver it, because it's the only needleless delivery unit that can do this. And so as a dentist, I will tell you, if you are doing PRF treatments, if you're doing any type of cleft palate treatments and you're looking to do skin rejuvenation, it is one of the easiest things to incorporate into your office when it comes to treating aesthetics and treating certain things that it's the most predictable thing you can do. And so, but yeah, if you guys have any questions, please let me know, and I'm more than happy to help you answer it. Thanks so much.